Hey guys! Welcome back to another episode of Kiff Says, a place where I break down the legal aspects of your creative business and try to convince you that the law doesn't have to equal scary. Following up with last week's video, where we talked about social media icons, I wanted to do a little bit of Trademark 101 to kind of back up to make sure we all understand what trademarks are and why they exist. So why do we have trademark laws? Trademark laws allow a brand owner to be the only one to have a monopoly on a word, phrase, or logo. Why do we allow trademark owners to have this monopoly? Well, it's actually for consumer protection. It's actually so we as consumers know who exactly we're buying that product or who exactly we're getting that service from. So trademark laws are really designed to protect us. And when you think about it in that way, some of the nuances of trademark law make a little more sense. For example, you've probably heard that you can't trademark generic phrases or things that are merely descriptive of the product or the service that you're offering. For example, a design studio couldn't trademark the phrase design studio because that describes the services that they're offering to their clients. Now, just because a word is generic or descriptive when applied to some things doesn't mean it's generic or descriptive when applied to everything. Apple is a great example of that. Using the term apple for food-related things, especially if you were selling apples, would be descriptive of what you're doing. However, no one made the association of apples equaling computers until Apple came along and created that association for us. So sometimes apples and things that are like that can be descriptive in some areas won't necessarily be descriptive when applied to something disjunct. Second thing we want to remember when it comes to trademark law is its old school playground rules. The first person to plant their flag in the sand and claim the mountain is the winner. So if I started using a word or phrase as a trademark now, and somehow I never knew that a mom and pop store had been using that same trademark since the 60s, they'd be able to stop me. However, if I was the first one to plant the flag, then I would be able to stop anyone who came after me. It's all about that timing of who's the first one to start the process. The third thing to keep in mind when it comes to trademark is it can't be confused with an existing trademark. For example, if I had a store that I wanted, a clothing store that I wanted to be called Anthropology would probably be able to come after me and stop me because consumers would be confused as to if this Anthro store was associated with anthropology. However, anthropology couldn't stop me if I was going out and, say, doing photography services under the name Anthro, because consumers aren't going to think that a major national clothing and homewares store was branching out into those types of individual services. A good example I like to use here is Delta. Delta can refer to the water faucet company, it can refer to the dental insurance company, and it can refer to the airline that flies us across the country. Even though they all use Delta as their primary identifier, no consumer is going to think those three companies are owned by the same people and are providing us all of those services. So that's where you're able to stop people once you've planted the flag. You've planted the flag and can stop people who are doing the same type of services that you are offering or offering the same kinds of products or something related, closely related enough. The consumer, that someone standing on the outside, would think that those businesses were related. I hope that this helps you understand why trademark laws exist and the kinds of things that you can trademark in your business. If you're like most creative business owners, your legal to-do list is overwhelming and you have no idea what should be on it and how you should prioritize it. Right now, I'm hosting a 30-day challenge that will help you not only figure out if registering your trademarks should be on that list, but where it falls. If If you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you shared it with your network. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.